afternoon, I'm Mai Rodriguez. Today on Newsfeed at noon, Pope Francis back at the Vatican after 5 weeks in the hospital. South Korea's constitutional court strikes down the impeachment of Prime Minister Han Duck-soo. Our very own Eala making tennis history as she stuns world number 5 Madison Keys at the Miami Open. And Mariah Carey coming back to the Philippines this year. Thanks for joining us. After 5 weeks in hospital, Pope Francis is back at the Vatican. The 88-year-old pontiff left Rome's Gemelli Hospital Sunday after briefly coming out on the balcony to greet hundreds of well-wishers. It was his first public appearance since being admitted on February 14 for severe respiratory infection that led to double pneumonia. While he's out of hospital, doctors prescribed a further 2 months of rest and told the Pope to avoid large meetings. Francis had been set to meet with Britain's King Charles on April 8 and to lead the Vatican's annual Easter celebrations on April 20. The Catholic faithful celebrating the Pope's release from hospital in his hometown of Buenos Aires. Devotees gathered at the church where Francis began his career. They expressed confidence in divine support for his continued strength. Catholics here in Manila are also elated Pope Francis visited the Philippines in 2015.
Welcome to the outside world uli, Pope Francis. We love you.
Praise the Lord. Salamat sa Panginoon at okay na ang ating Pope. Kasi maraming nagmamahal sa kanya, mahal ng Pilipinas, si Pope, buong mundo nagdadasal sa kanya. Kaya God is good talaga all the time. Kaya hindi niya pinababayaan ang ating Pope, di ba?
With the Pope's recent health scare, though, speculation about a possible resignation has also intensified. But experts say he is likely to remain at least through year's end.
There's been a lot of speculation about whether Pope Francis will resign after this health crisis. It's difficult to say. On the one hand, he has said that it should not become a fashion, is the word he used, for popes to resign instead of rule for life, as Pope Benedict did in 2013. That said, it depends on how he thinks that he will be able to run the church after this illness.
A new twist in South Korea's political chaos. The Constitutional Court has stricken down the impeachment of Prime Minister Han Duck-soo. In a 7-1 ruling, the court also restored Han's powers. Han took over as acting president from Yoon Suk-yeol, who was himself impeached over his short-lived declaration of martial law last year. Han lasted less than 2 weeks in the post and was impeached and suspended on December 27 for refusing to appoint 3 more justices to the Constitutional Court. Over in Canada, Prime Minister Mark Carney has called for a snap election on April 28th. The next election had been set for October 20, but Carney says he needs a strong mandate to deal with U.S. President Donald Trump's tariff war. Carney, a former 2-time central banker with no previous political or election campaign experience, captured the Liberal leadership 2 weeks ago by persuading party members he was the best person to tackle Trump.
We are facing the most significant crisis of our lifetimes because of President Trump's unjustified trade actions and his threats to our sovereignty. Our response must be to build a strong economy and a more secure Canada. President Trump claims that Canada isn't a real country. He wants to break us so America can own us. We will not let that happen. We're over the shock of the betrayal. I'm asking Canadians for a strong, positive mandate to deal with President Trump and to build a new Canadian economy that works for everyone. Because I know we need change, big change. positive change.
An update on former President Rodrigo Duterte's case at the International Criminal Court. The pretrial chamber has ordered both the prosecution and defense teams to disclose evidence by next month. The prosecution was told to submit by April 4th how many witnesses and witness statements it will provide. The Duterte camp, for their part, will have until April 11th to submit their observations on the information that the prosecution will submit. Duterte's next court appearance is scheduled in September. More than 5,000 Duterte supporters gather at an open field in The Hague to show their solidarity with the former president. They include Filipinos from various European countries such as France, Germany, the UK, and Belgium. Meanwhile, in Berlin, Germany, human rights groups stage a protest expressing support for families of drug war victims. Duterte is facing charges of crimes against humanity for allegedly allowing tens of thousands of extrajudicial killings to be carried out in his drug war. Vice President Sara Duterte not mincing words as she again slams the Marcos administration over various issues, including the president's ability to lead. Hannity reports.
Alam nyo kasi, ang pagiging Pangulo, dapat nasa tamang pag-iisip ka.
A straight dig from Vice President Sara Duterte during a rally of OFWs in support of her father, former President Rodrigo Duterte, who is currently in ICC custody. The crowd chanted for President Bongbong Marcos to step down. But for the Vice President, it's not that simple.
Kaya yung pagsasabi na hindi mahalaga ang drug test sa aking kapasidad at abilidad na mamuno is tantamount to betrayal of public trust.
She says a president must prove fitness to lead, starting with decision-making. It was in 2024 when the Duterte camp started to dare Marcos to undergo a drug test, following claims the president is allegedly a drug user.
Kaya hindi lang naman natin pwede sabihin, Marcos, resign. Bakit ba kailangan resign? Dahil hindi mo pinapakita sa taong bayan na maayos kang mag-isip at kaya mo ang mamuno.
Duterte then turned to the national budget. She said the Uniteam tandem was supposed to continue her father's build programs, but she claims funds are either being misused or pocketed.
Pero wala kayong nakikita ngayon na development projects. Dahil lahat yon ay nakatago sa mga proyekto na pamigay o nandoon lang sa bulsa ng kontraktor at ng politiko.
VP Sara also revisited her resignation as Education Secretary in 2024. She claimed the department's funds were quietly divided among members of the House. She had earlier pointed to House Speaker Martin Romualdez and former Appropriations Chair Zaldi Co as the ones controlling the budget, not the BICAM. Her message in front of OFW supporters: bring back her father and hold the Marcos administration accountable.
Kaya sinasabi ko lagi yung nagsasabi sa akin, tumakbo ka sa 2028. I don't think we will have a country by 2028.
Hannity, Bilyonaryo News Channel.
Transport Group Manibela is again holding a 3-day transport strike, which began this morning. Paulo Barcelona is on the scene for us along the Philcoa area in Quezon City for the latest. Paulo, what is the situation there now?
Good afternoon, Mai. It is calm here at the Philcoa area in Quezon City, which was visited earlier by some drivers who are part of Manibela. So far, traffic is a little bit smooth going to the Quezon Memorial Circle, but earlier they went here and staged a quick morning protest. They call on government to halt consolidation, saying that drivers can modernize their jeeps alone.
Magkano po isang unit? 2.8 million yung principal price, hindi pa kasama yung interest. Nababayaran mo ng pito, 8 taon. Gusto pa nga nilang pahabain para mababa ang monthly amortization. Baka hindi na makagalaw yung yung operator na magbabayad. Mamodernize po namin yan, 1 million.
Or less?
Less pa po doon. Sagad na po yun. Napakaganda pa. Aircon na po yung 1 million na yan.
Similar protests, Mai, were held in Santa Ana, Manila, in the Camanava area, in Alabang, in Muntinlupa City, and in Pasig City. Some commuters in the morning rush hour had mixed reactions regarding Manibela's strike.
First day ko ngayon umalis kasama ko yung aso ko. Hassle talaga, wala nga masakyan eh.
Pag walang traffic, mga 30 minutes kaya eh. Pero pag mahirap sumakay katulad nito, mga aabutin ng mga kulang-kulang 1 hour.
Authorities say they are prepared to assist commuters as Metro Manila Police Chief Brigadier General Anthony Aberin says over 8,000 police officers have been deployed across Metro Manila. Now, Mai Aberin says riots police squads have been deployed to secure public places, transport terminals, and commercial zones. Mai?
Paolo, I understand not all jeepney groups are united in this. What are other groups saying about Manibela's strike?
Well, earlier this morning in an interview with DWAR Abante Radyo, Mai, Pistons Modi Floranda said that they are going to wait for DOTR Secretary Vince Dizon's 2-week promise to them that they will have a meeting and wait for their decision on whether or not traditional jeepneys could refile to the LTFRB their provisional authorities. Now, Floranda also said that if within the 2-week time frame that Dizon said to them and jeepneys are still not allowed to go back to their traditional routes, then they will not hesitate to hold protest actions. Mai?
Thank you, Paolo. Barcelona reporting to us live from Philcoa in Quezon City. In time for the transport strike, MRT3 operations are extended by an hour starting today. Transportation Secretary Vince Dizon also calls for more buses on the EDSA bus carousel. The details from our mobility correspondent, G. Baroga.
Transport Chief Vince Dizon again calls on Transport Group Manibela to have a dialogue with them instead of holding a strike. Dizon and MMDA General Manager Don Artes, along with other transport officials, monitored the situation on the ground at the MMDA Command Center.
Nandyan yung mga buses ng MMDA para mag-provide ng libreng sakay. Kaya ang kagandahan kasi nitong ganitong sistema, makikita kagad natin kung merong mga pasahero natin na magkakaproblema, naka-deploy na yung ating mga buses in case na magkakaroon ng hirap ang ating mga kababayan sa pagsakay.
Dizon also announces that the extended MRT3 operations as well as the additional train during peak hours will officially begin today in time for the transport strike. As an additional help to commuters, the transport chief calls on the LRT1 to deploy an additional train and more buses at the EDSA carousel.
Ang LRT1 magdadagdag din ng one train today para habang merong transport strike, may dagdag na tren ng ating LRT1 at MRT3. At sa mga susunod na araw, titignan natin kung anong epekto. Nagsabi na rin ako kay Undersecretary Steve Pastor na magdagdag na rin ng mga buses sa ating EDSA busway carousel.
Secretary Dizon clarifies that the approved number of consolidation is at 40% as of today, but the application is at 86%. He also asks the LTFRB to identify the reasons behind these numbers and present solutions to transport groups. Following his meeting with Piston last week, Dizon says he will meet 2 other transport groups this week, hoping that Manibela will be part of it.
Walang pwedeng kumontra sa modernization. No, hindi natin sinasabing ihinto. Ang sinasabi ko, kailangan i-validate natin ang numero. Yung mga nag-consolidate na, kailangan suportahan natin sila para tuloy-tuloy ang modernization. No? Pero kailangan nating tignan din ano ba ang totoong situation on the ground. No, and kung ano ang kailangan gawin ng gobyerno para maging successful ito, dapat gawin.
The MMDA will continue monitoring the situation here at the command center. The agency adds that the free rides are on standby should the need arises, with Manila, Parañaque, Caloocan, and Pasig as the priority areas. For BNC Mobility, G. Baroga.
Another relief for travelers as the NLEX Corporation waives toll for the northbound portion from Balintawak to May Kawayan. This will remain in effect until all 4 lanes of the Marilao northbound area are reopened. DOTR Chief Vince Dizon earlier called on the NLEX to suspend the toll collection amid traffic issues caused by the repair of the Marilao Interchange Bridge. The bridge suffered damage after an overheight truck hit the structure last week. The repair is expected to be done by month end. We're taking a break. Still to come, Filipino wildcard Alex Eala stuns the tennis world as she defeats world number 5 Madison Keys at the Miami Open. That and more when Newsfeed at Noon returns. You're back on Newsfeed at Noon. Sports news now. Our very own Alex Eala making history as her magical run continues at the Miami Open. The Filipino wildcard scored the biggest victory yet of her career against world number 5 and defending Australian Open champion Madison Keys. The 19-year-old tennis ace defeated Keys with a decisive 6-4, 6-2. This makes her the first Filipino woman in the Open era to beat a top 10 opponent. Eala dominated from the baseline, forcing errors and dictating play.
I'm so blank. I'm thinking of my parents who are watching now. Mom, Dad, nakuha ko! Oh my God!
Last week, Eala defeated another Grand Slam champion, Elena Ostapenko, in South Beach. She next faces world number 9, Spain's Paula Badosa, in the round of 16 tomorrow at 7 a.m. Philippine time. Following her recent wins, Eala's live ranking has jumped from 140 to number 117. Here at home, Barangay Ginebra is now 1 win away from glory. The Gin Kings clawed past TNT 73-66 in Game 5 of the PBA Commissioner's Cup Finals. Resident import Justin Brownlee showing his willpower despite a thumb injury with 18 points and 14 rebounds. Best player of the game, Scotty Thompson, also filled the stat sheets with 16 points and 15 boards plus 5 assists. The Kings now hold a crucial 3-2 series lead. They can seal the championship in Game 6 on Wednesday, also at the Smart Araneta Coliseum. In the UAAP, the NU Lady Bulldogs extend their winning ways in round 2 of season 87 women's volleyball. The defending champs defeated the De La Salle Lady Spikers Sunday at the Mall of Asia Arena. MVP frontrunner Bella Belen led the volleyball queens with 23 points plus 17 receptions. NU remains perfect this season with 8 wins and 0 losses. La Salle is in a 3-way tie with FEU and UST with 5 wins and 3 losses. In the first game, the FEU Lady Tamaraos escaped the UST Golden Tigresses in 4 sets. Faida Bacanque led the Lady Tams with a game-high 22 points. Shifting gears into motorsports, making it back-to-back wins for McLaren as Oscar Piastri reigned supreme in the Chinese Grand Prix. The Australian racer roared back from a season-opening disappointment to secure the victory in Shanghai. Piastri's McLaren teammate Lando Norris finished second after his triumphant campaign at the Australian Grand Prix, while Red Bull's Max Verstappen came in at third. Ferrari's Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton finished 5th and 6th. But the Ferrari tandem were disqualified when their cars failed post-race technical checks. Up ahead, global superstar Mariah Carey coming back to the Philippines this year. The details when we return. Stay with us. Watching Newsfeed at noon, an early Christmas gift from Mariah Carey as the global superstar is heading back to Manila. Mariah will bring her the Celebration of Mimi World Tour in the country on October 14th. No word yet on the venue. The Philippines joins other Asian nations including China, Thailand, and Japan. Mariah last performed in Manila in 2018. Other big names coming to Philippine soil this year include J-Hope of BTS, Boyz II Men, and the Black Eyed Peas. A powerhouse duet we didn't know we needed. Grammy-winning American singer Tori Kelly shows off her Tagalog skills with our very own Morissette. Tori shared a TikTok video where they sang Morissette's 2014 hit, Akin Ka Na Lang. Playing the piano is film musician AJ Rafael. Let's watch this.
I love it.
Wow, and it was all praises in the comment section with netizens pointing out Tori's seemingly natural Tagalog skills. The video now has over 1.6 million views and more than 286,000 likes. And before we go, have you ever lost a pet and worried if you'd ever find them again? Well, Quezon City has a solution as local officials are microchipping pets to help track their owners and control the spread of diseases. But is it safe for your fur babies? Our mobile journalist, Ivy Reyes, has this story.
Has any of your pets ever wandered off? Worry no more, because if you're from Quezon City, soon your fur babies will be under the radar. The Quezon City Veterinary Department has been going barangay to microchip pets. But what is microchipping and is it safe? In a move to amend the City Veterinary Code in 2022, QC now requires pets to be microchipped for identification in case of loss and disease control. A microchip contains the pet owner's contact details, the pet's breed, color, sex, and vaccinations acquired.
Microchip po is pet ID po siya, lifetime ID. One time lang ginagawa para po sa mga alaga natin if ever po na itatravel natin sila overseas. Pinaka-passport po nila yon. Hindi siya tracking device na matitrace natin yung alaga. Pero if ever po na nawawala yung alaga nyo at nakuha po ng city pound natin, i-scan po namin siya. Through scanner po kasi nadidetect natin yung microchip.
For Ana Reneses, a pet owner of 7, all of whom walk runways of pet fashion shows, this initiative is important so that no stray animals ever fall to diseases. As a psychologist, she also points to the role of pets in the lives of their owners, and as someone who adopted a stray, she adds that the treatment of animals has taken a huge turn today.
Since pandemic, we know very well that pet therapy has become a trend. Kasi syempre sila yung kasama natin sa bahay nung nakulong tayo nung pandemic. So, the treatment to animals ng mga families has tremendously changed. Dati bantay lang sila sa bahay, 'di ba? When we go out, pasok sa office, sa trabaho, or sa school. But then pandemic came, they've become part of our family na.
Meanwhile, this is also Barangay Paligsahan's first Petstival this summer, an event they vowed to continue in support of a centralized pet registration system within the city.
We observed na maraming pets, especially the dogs and lesser cats, na nagkakalat lang dito sa barangay. So we have a problem.
This summer season, the QC vet highlights the importance of vaccinating pets and microchipping them because pets are more prone to diseases this time of year. For Newsfeed Weekend, I am Ivy Reyes, Bilyonaryo News Channel.
And those are the news this hour. I'm Mai Rodriguez. Keep it here on the Bilyonaryo News Channel. Good afternoon.